This video is going to be all about the basics of a Redtail user using Jump. If you've been using Jump for a while, then you're probably going to know almost everything, or at least most things that we're going to talk about in this video. This is really the basic training of how a Jump user can utilize the Redtail integration. If you're looking for more of an advanced training, that is definitely coming, so keep an eye out for that on our YouTube channel. First things first, let's go over how you actually get integrated with Redtail. If you're a full seat user, if you're a light seat user, it is important that you integrate with your Redtail CRM. This is important because full seat users and light seat users need to both have the ability to sync notes and tasks into your CRM. So as long as you're integrated, then that checks that box of giving you the ability to sync things over. Now, if you've already logged into your Jump portal and you've gone through what we call the onboarding flow, then you've already probably set up your integration. But just in case, a quick recap on how to integrate: you can go to your user settings, head over to the integrations page, and then under CRM integrations, you'll see Redtail. If it says connected, that means you're integrated. If it doesn't say connected, use the connect button to set up your integration so you're able to follow along with the rest of this video. If you're a brand new user to Jump and you're first logging in, then we actually throw the question at you if you want to integrate your CRM. So if you haven't even logged into Jump yet, don't worry, you're going to get this question asking you to integrate with Redtail. Just simply select the Redtail tile, and then you can connect to Redtail, enter your login credentials, and then you can set up the integration that way. Another question we're going to ask a full seat user is what they usually do with a note after a meeting. And this is helpful for us because when you select one of these options, then you're going to get that respective option when you go to sync a note to Redtail after a meeting. For example, if you selected I add a note to a contact or a household on this page, then after a meeting, the option you're going to get in the top right corner under the automation section is add note to contact. This explains why some people are getting different options when they go to sync their note to their CRM. So if you selected I update an activity, instead of saying add note to contact, it would say update activity. If you ever want to change what options you get after a meeting, then I recommend reaching out to our support team. We will come out with a video in our next advanced training that's going to go over more in detail how to set up note mapping if you want to change that or adjust anything in the current options that you're given when you go to sync a note to your CRM. When full seat users integrate their Redtail with Jump, this allows Jump to generate a pre-meeting prep automatically 24 hours before the meeting. When a full seat user has a meeting coming up in their upcoming tab, Jump is going to go into the CRM and scrub for data on that client that the advisor is going to be meeting with. If you have any questions about any of the pre-meeting prep notes that you see here, you'll notice that Jump is going to leave little pre-meeting prep sources where you can click on it, go into Redtail, and see exactly where Jump is pulling from. A common question that people have when they're learning about the pre-meeting prep and pre-meeting prep sources is where can Jump pull from in Redtail? Now, there are very few limitations when it comes to what we can pull. We can pull most objects. We can pull from the note, we can pull from tasks, we can pull from workflows. Basically, if it's in an email, we can't access emails right now. We're also not able to access any custom tags that you may have set up in Redtail. We're also not able to pull from attachments currently. So if you attach a document, we wouldn't be able to pull from that. But everything else. So we can pull from a lot, which is nice to know so that if you ever do go to save information in the future, I would recommend saving data in fields that Jump can pull from in the future for the pre-meeting prep. One of the features that we offer through the Redtail integration is being able to pull over calendars. So if you schedule your meetings only in Redtail, then you can visit your user settings and head on over to the Preferences tab. And then you can find a place that'll say Calendars here, where you can choose your Redtail calendars and select which type of meetings you want to sync over from Redtail. Along the lines of the pre-meeting prep, don't forget that you can also generate a pre-meeting prep directly from the All Contacts section here on the left side of your screen. If you go to All Contacts and search for a contact that you have in Redtail, you can search for them and then select on their name And then you can go over to this pre-meeting prep tab where you can generate a pre-meeting prep on demand. So instead of waiting for the meeting to be scheduled on the upcoming tab, you can always go to this section and generate a pre-meeting prep on demand. After you've had your meeting, for client meetings, you're going to see that button that appears in the top right corner. We've referenced this earlier in this video. It'll say add note to contact, update activity. Remember, it all depends on what you decided when you were first going through the what we call onboarding flow. You're going to use this button to sync your note into Redtail. Just simply click on the button under the automation section. And then what this says is, hey, here's the note that Jump's created. Also, if you've made any changes to this note, those will be maintained here on this page. And then you just need to decide what contact, what activity are you going to update in Redtail. So for example, here, we're going to add a new note and attach it to a contact. This is another part where the Redtail integration comes in handy, because when you click in this box at the top to search, you're actually searching through your Redtail account. So for example, we're going to find the contact Jim, select him from the dropdown, and then we're also going to search for Pam in the dropdown. Okay. And we've already selected all of our contacts, so we're good there. We've done everything we need to do with the note. We've edited everything. For Redtail, a category is required. Now, these categories are all being pulled from your Redtail account, so you're only seeing categories that exist in your Redtail. So if you wanted to add a category, then go into Redtail and create the category there, and then we'll pull the category into Jump. Once you've selected your category and all other fields that are required are filled out, you can use this Sync to Redtail Now button at the bottom to sync the note to Redtail. We'll go ahead and click on that button to sync, and then you're going to get this messaging that shows up under the Meeting Notes tab that says, hey, this sync was successful. It was synced on this date and this time. And then we also give you a link directly to where the note is that'll say View in Redtail. So if you want to see where the note is right now and see what it looks like, simply click on View in Redtail. This will take you directly to where the note is, takes you to the link, and then you can see what the note looks like from here. You can also sync the tasks that the AI generated. On the right side of your screen, you'll see a section that says follow-up tasks. Here, you can click on Sync to Redtail, and then you can make any changes to any of the tasks that you see here before you actually complete the sync. For example, if I wanted to change the title, I just click into the title field and type something in. Or if you want to change who the task is going to be assigned to, you can click into the assignee field. All of these fields are clickable and editable, so feel free to change anything before you sync the tasks over. Sometimes I see users that want to sync a task directly to a workflow, which is possible. You'll see this type column appear on the left side of your screen, and if you select that field, you can change the task to a workflow, and then you'll use the template field here to tell Jump which workflow you want to sync the task to. If you have activity templates in Redtail, you can access those templates from this page as well. You can change one of your tasks to say, hey, I want to use, let's say, this client review template, and then we'll bring over those fields, and you can decide if you want to use the fields that are already in that template. For example, in the description, if yours says something like, this is my template description, but you want to keep what Jump generated after the meeting, you can say, hey, let's go ahead and overwrite that with the Jump values. So you have control over what you want to keep from the template and what you want to keep from Jump. Before you can sync your tasks over, you will need to relate these tasks to something. Just like the note where we went to go search for a contact to link the note to, we'll need to use this related to box at the top to link the tasks to a contact. You can link it to a household, depends who you're trying to link it to, but we're going to go ahead and go in here and link this to our friend Jim, find him in the dropdown, select his name, and then boom, you'll see that button at the bottom just highlighted in green, meaning that we can now sync the tasks over. Now, if you only want to sync some of these tasks, then you can use this check mark below activities to sync to uncheck any of these tasks. When you don't sync a task over, it'll remain in the Jump meeting page. So what I recommend doing is deleting your unsynced tasks if you know you're just not going to need them ever. Once you click the sync button at the bottom, that's when you actually log the tasks in Redtail. Now, what we just went over is the basics of Redtail. If you're a new user to Jump, then you know just enough to be dangerous and you should be set to start using Jump. If you're looking for something more advanced, don't forget we're going to be going over in our next video the automations page, where we'll go more in depth about how the note mapping works, how to change some of the options that you're given on the task or the notes after a meeting, and we're going to cover a lot more in-depth options that are available for Redtail users. So be on the lookout for that video. If you do run into any questions about your Redtail integration, or you need any assistance, or you want to get advanced training now instead of waiting for the video, then use the chat bubble in the bottom right corner of your screen, send our support team a message, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.